Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Saturday, 10th of December 2022. Today was match day, and as I expected, but I think not a lot of you did, we had a tough time of it against Wigan Athletic. We drew 1-1 at home. The Lions missed out on a chance to move back into the playoff places. This is the match report from southernnews.co.uk. Millwall returned to the Den for the first time after the World Cup break with a 1-1 draw against Wigan Athletic. The Lions had the better things earlier on in the game, but found themselves 1-0 down shortly after the half-hour mark of the Wilkins rebound goal caught out goalkeeper George Long to give the Latics the lead. However, with 5 minutes until the half-time break, Gary Rowett's men found an equaliser thanks to Zion Fleming's sweetly struck volley, sending the two sides in level at half-time. Both sides created chances after the break, although Long and Wigan keeper Jamie Jones were largely untested, as the game fizzled out in the dying stages of both sides having to settle for a draw. Millwall were close to conceding in the first 30 seconds of the match as Wigan pushed forward immediately. James McLean brought the ball forward down the left flank, firing a deflected shot goal. It almost caught out George Long, who had to get down to parry the effort wide for a corner. Yeah, one-handed save, pretty decent save there from George Long. The Lions created some good chances of their own, threatening with both Mason Bennett, Tom Bradshaw after Zion Fleming's good work, and neither were able to really test Jamie Jones before the tempo suddenly dipped as the half progressed. Then in the 33rd minute, the Latics took the lead after breaking down the right flank, where Wilkins' initial effort was blocked, although Long had already dived to save it. By the time the ball bounced back forward, he was stranded with a near open goal to roll the ball into the bottom to make it 0-1. Yes, what can we say about that? A bit of a comedy of errors. I don't know why, but Sean Hutchinson was the one on the left hand side, and Murray Wallace was in the middle. They were all out of position, and the bloody deflection, it falls. There's like at least 4 or 5 Millwall players around, and the deflection falls straight back to the guy who shot the goal. And George Long had already dived over to save it. He was on his knees, and then boom, he's got an open goal because the ball's come straight back to him. Just an all-round bit of a comedy of errors. So Millwall were presented with a chance to equalise just 3 minutes later, and Andreas Vogelshammer somehow blasted the header over the bar from Mason Bennett's powerful cross. However, 5 minutes left until half-time, Gary outside found their equaliser. Yeah, Vogelshammer kind of crouched down to head it when he probably should have just used his foot, his leg. Another good, decent cross from Mason Bennett. He was getting a few crosses in. Him and Danny McNamara very good today. McNamara capping off an excellent first half performance. Yeah, he was pretty. Ding to cross into the box for Bradshaw. What you don't say there is that Zion Fleming actually started that move. Zion Fleming, the ball in the middle of the park, he lays it over to Danny McNamara, and then he just immediately runs into the box. And McNamara's bringing it forward. McLean's standing off him, and McNamara just whips it, floats it in towards Bradshaw. Bradshaw chests it down to Fleming, who's standing next to him, and Fleming, without letting it even hit the floor, just hits it into the goal. Fantastic goal. The Dutchman didn't hesitate, firing a powerful volley into the box to deservedly level the scores. Just a couple of minutes after the half-time break, Millwall had a golden chance to take the lead after they were awarded a free kick around 20 yards out. Fleming stepped up to take it with his dipping effort, forcing Jones into a good save. In the 53rd minute, the Wigan keeper was called into action once again after Bradshaw failed to control Bennett's low cross into the box. Billy Mitchell rushed in to fire a powerful effort goal, but it was caught and held by the Latics shot stopper. 5 minutes later, the hosts were presented with yet another chance to take the lead as George Saville pushed Forward from midfield as he was closed down, he set up Vogelshammer down the right, who in turn passed back to Sha'mar on the edge of the box. The right back took aim, narrowly missing the top corner. After their flurry of chances, Millwall suddenly lost all control in the game and started to dominate possession as the clock ticked towards the 70th minute, creating countless dangerous chances without ever really testing long. They failed to capitalise as the Lions began to ask some questions of the Latics back line in the final 15 minutes. Although they also struggled on a Baltic afternoon in SC16 as their energy drained out of the game, it was clear that the points would be split and the Lions would remain outside of the top six. And they've got the team there, but we'll get onto that later. So takeaways from the game: 9 for Zion. It's hard to stop talking about Zion Fleming when he consistently playing at such a high level. Granted, Mill need to figure out how they can win games when he isn't at his best. Those times are incredibly rare. His strike against the Lags capped off another impressive performance. More of the same, and he can keep himself in the race for the Championship Golden Boot. Indeed, he is there or thereabouts. Control wins games. If you have control in a game, you can dictate the play. You can make your opponent uncomfortable and dominate using your own unique style. Unfortunately, Mill's lack of control has now cost him in consecutive matches. The second half performance against Sunderland was nothing short of disastrous, while they failed to dominate in key moments against Wigan this afternoon. That can be excused away from home. More needs to be done to win matches at the Den. Take your chances. The only reason that this game finished level is because neither side managed to take any of the numerous chances they created. Millwall arguably had the better of the chances, yet they failed to really test Jamie Jones after the half-time break. Wigan were undoubtedly the superior side at that point, but similarly struggled to do the same. Time for some target practice ahead of Luton away next weekend. Well, I think it's time for something else. Some people saying 2 up front, Vogelshammer, Bradshaw. Here's the thing: you're playing Bradshaw, and what happens if Bradshaw gets injured? Who's his replacement? Well, it's Vogelshammer, but he's on the pitch at the same time. So why is that happening? If you need to change it, if Bradshaw's not working, it's not happening for him. How are you going to change it? You can't do a like for like change. You're going to have to change the system and the style. You can't do a like for like change. Yeah, a lot of people were saying that they were expecting to beat Wigan because Wigan in the relegation zone. But if you saw yesterday's video, I told you that they were one of the best away teams in the league. And when we went through the stats and saw all the streaks that there were, they all had the number 5, and they've all been crushed with this defeat or with this draw, because it was 5 games. 5 games. Wigan have conceded 2 goals in away games. 5 games that they've lost, shit like that. And those kind of streaks need to end, and they all ended with this 1-1 draw. So let's go to Millwall FC and get the team from them. We've already read the match report, so that's because we can get the substitutions as well, which were made late on, 70th minute. And the team was Long, Wallace, Cooper, McNamara, Hutchison, Mitchell, Fleming, Bennett, Saville, Vogelshammer, and Bradshaw. And the subs were Tyler Berry came on from Bennett on the 70th minute. Vogelshammer was taken off on the 70th minute by Honeyman. Shackleton came on for Saville in the 87th minute. So the only real attacking change you're making there is Tyler Berry. You got the unused subs of Biakovsky, Creswell, Evans, and Malone. So we're relying on Bradshaw, and to be fair, he had an assist today. He was trying really hard, but there's no plan B. There's nothing else there. It's not working. There's nothing there. Now, here's the thing: if Afobe was fit, would Bradshaw even be playing? Bradshaw would be the plan B. So we're playing with the plan B, so that means we don't even have a plan C. That's the situation as it is now. Let's have a look at the attendance of 12,698. It's surprising, 568 Wigan fans made that trip there. That's crazy because I remember in games previously they never really brought many. Well, to be fair, they were kind of midweek games, I think. I remember one game where they brought about 50 people. That may have been in League One actually, so yeah, so 568, which is a fair amount for Wigan. But yeah, you can see the train strike there, the freezing weather, the England game. It all adds up, and I think it took about 2,000, maybe 3,000 fans off of the total there. So let's get on to some of the comments that we've got from Gary Rat so far. Obviously, more will come tomorrow and on Monday, I'm sure. But let's read this one from London News and Wonder.uk. Millwall boss admits his side lacked the quality to deserve more than a draw against Wigan Athletic. Gary Rowe felt his Millwall side lacked enough quality in the final third as they drew 1-1 with Wigan Athletic today. The Latics took a 33-minute lead at the Den as Will Keane was the lucky recipient of a short sequence of penny box pin ball, leaving him to slot into an unguarded net. But the South Londoners were back on level terms of 40 minutes through Zion Fleming. Dutchman finished sweetly after Tom Bradshaw chested down Danny McNamara's cross, but Millwall unable to build on that. They're basically doing a match roundup. So Andres Vogelsummer yet to score since his summer move from Union Berlin. Had headed an excellent Mason Bennett cross over the bar shortly before Fleming bagged his 9th goal of the campaign. It was a lovely move and a lovely goal, but the frustration was it was the main bit of quality in the game, said Rat, who has seen his line side take 1 point from a possible 6 since resuming after the break for the World Cup. If you're going to open up a game like that one and win it, you need to show that a little bit more. He ended up with Danny, lovely little chip into Bradders, and because he has it early and clean, it's not really allowed the goalkeeper to move. It's a quality that Zion's got and the rest of the players have got as well. Playing against Wigan, it's another new manager faced. You know, they're going to have a little bit of a lift and probably plays a higher level than maybe they have in previous games. But you have to accept that and do a little bit more to win the game. We conceded a really poor goal. They have a shot, long he dives, and it gets deflected straight back to their lad who just plods it home. We don't seem to get too many of those ourselves. And then we responded quite well after that. Benny started to take on the fullback role and caused him problems. Boggy really should score. Then we end up equalising, and you just think, let's put our foot on the gas a little bit and start to attack a little bit more. They had moments in the game where they kept the ball and stopped us from building any momentum. It was just down to quality today. We didn't show that extra bit of quality to win the game. I said to the players afterwards, we got a point, that's all we deserved. It's no disgrace, but we've got to do a little bit more to win at home, like we have done so many times this season. Yeah, it wasn't the best performance at home this season. I'm sure many of you will agree with that. I think the only other times when we've had worse was when we lost at home. But yeah, draw. I predicted a 2-1 defeat, so that's the draw is better than I expected. And here's why. So here's the table as it stands tonight. After the Saturday games in the Championship, but before the Sunday ones, there was a few Sunday games. We scroll up and see we got QPR versus Burnley and Watford versus Hull. So we're pretty safe, I think. Well, QPR beat Burnley. Obviously, we'll drop a place. But yeah, we're 7th in the table now, 32 points plus 1 goal difference. And Wigan, that point's taken them out of relegation places and put Jed Wallace's West Bromwich Albion straight back in them. So, if you didn't see yesterday's video, I'll share with you this. So this is the overall table, home and away games, all games. This is just away games. Wigan are 7th in the league, in away games. They won 4, drawn 3, lost 4. You compare that to our away form, which is complete dog shit. We are second worst in the league away from home. 2, 3, 6. We've only scored 10 goals in 11 away games. So this is who we played today, Wigan. They're a very good away team. The fact that we didn't lose to them is good. But that was a game that we could have won. We just needed to be a little bit better. Now you say we're missing players, we're missing a Phobie. And like I said, we're playing with our plan B, which is Bradshaw. And we don't have any plan C off the bench because Vogelsammer's playing at the same time as Bradshaw. Vogelsammer looked good coming off the bench when he first came to the club, but since then, especially since he's starting, it doesn't really look all that. So, and like they said in that piece there, he hasn't scored yet. Bradshaw has scored. He's got an assist today, so and he runs a lot and he puts a lot of effort. So I'm not digging Bradshaw out, but it's not really happening, is it? We need to be a bit better. So let's get back to the table. There it is. Now we go to Luton next week, and you can see if we lose that game, we could drop quite a bit. We could drop all the way down to 13th, 14th in the table, which would be a shame. And I've said this before, but I'll say it again now. Once we play Luton away, we would have played every team in the league at least once. I believe we haven't played any more than once. Sometimes you play another team again before you play everyone, but this season it's turned out that we play them all once and then we go again. Symbolically, it would be nice, and I would want to see Millwall being in the playoff places after playing Luton, which realistically I think we're going to have to win that game to do that. A draw might do it, but like I said, symbolically, why? Because if we've played every team in the league once and we're in the top 6, then you would imagine that we could play them all again and get the same results or better and keep our place in the top 6. So symbolically, that would be nice to see. But like I said, if we lose to Luton on our way for dog shit, and they've just changed the kickoff yesterday. I don't know why they bothered, because you saw England today. If you expected us to win, I mean, you probably got caught up in a bit of the fever, the World Cup fever, and you got a dose of reality today because England were dog shit, and they needed 2 penalties, and one of them they didn't fucking score. So there you go. They're literally VAR beggars trying to get a result out of VAR because they're not doing it in live play. So we go to Luton next week, 11:30 kickoff. That'll be fun. And then, but here's the thing: at least you will get to come back home and see Croatia versus France in the World Cup final. You'll be able to travel back from Luton for that. Isn't that nice? But yeah, so if we lose that game, we could snakes and ladders drop all the way down the table. So let's hope we don't do that. But our away form. Let's just add while we're here. Let's see how good Luton are at home. Oh, they're not very good at home. They draw a lot of home games. 7. Okay. But like I said, so they're dog shit at home. 2-7-2. Our away form is pitiful. So going to Luton is a place that we could actually win because they're not very good. They draw too many games. So we'll just have to wait and see what we can do with that. We're going to finish up today's video with some extra news. Like I predicted, we seem to have made 2 signings so far this transfer window that haven't been announced yet. I imagine they won't be announced until January the 1st at the earliest. 2 of them 19-year-olds. Josh Kia from Metropolitan Police of the Southern Premier League, and Adu Amaku from Shamrock Rovers of the League of Ireland. And they're obviously coming in to feature for the under 21s and maybe push on. And I predicted, well, the reason that might be is so we can loan out the under 21s that are there now. So we're bolstering the squad to let the players that they are go on loan. And here you see from Maidstone United, another Millwall player going to Maidstone United on loan to join Ryan Sanford, although he's injured, so he's probably not going to be there too many times. If he's injured, he might not turn up. Midfielder Sha'mar Lawson has joined the Stones on loan for Millwall. The 19-year-old left Mansfield Town and Sons signed for the Lions under 23s, which is now turned into under 21s, has been playing in their professional development league side. After impressing during the first half of the season, he's heading to the home of the Stones on an initial month-long deal. Welcome Sha'mar. He's already there. They got a photo of him. That's how quick they go. He seems to be number 32, or unless he's wearing someone else's jacket. And they actually played today, and they lost, I believe, 3-2 to Altrincham at home. And Sha'mar played 70 or so minutes, and he got a yellow card. So. But obviously we'll hear more about that in the Loan Watch on Monday. On that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.